All right, so I'm just thinking through my business, and here's how you should set yours up, or at least think about your business. If you're home services, you have three sections of business. You have acquisitions, you have production, and you have operations. Acquisitions is about marketing and sales. Marketing is turning strangers and cold leads into engaged leads. So a stranger is someone who doesn't know you, and a cold lead is someone who knows you but is not interested in your services. An engaged lead is someone who knows who you are and is engaged in your services or interested in getting your services. And then you move to sales. Sales is turning an engaged lead into a customer, someone who has signed a contract, a service agreement, and usually has paid a deposit. So that's acquisition. And then you have production. Production is turning a customer, someone who has signed a contract and paid a deposit, into a 5-star review and an ambassador or an affiliate who's going to give you more customers. So production is all about turning someone who's signed a contract and wants your services and has agreed to use your services into someone who's going to give you a 5-star review and going to bring you referrals. And then you have operations. Operations is all about you not going to jail. So it means that you're going to pay your taxes, probably first and foremost, and then you're going to make sure that you have paid off all of your vendors so that they're not going to come after you for money and sue you. And then it's also going to mean that you are keeping the business flowing properly so that marketing, who's creating engaged leads, is communicating well with sales, who's turning those engaged leads into customers, and then sales is communicating well with production, meaning they're turning those customers into 5-star / referrals. So if you think about your business that way, it really simplifies things. So I would encourage you, write down on a piece of paper, or better yet, you open up Google and go into your docs and just write that down. And this will be the most simplified version of your business, but it will really help you start thinking about, okay, I'm putting my marketing hat on. What is my goal? Just create engaged leads. Stop thinking about sales. Stop thinking about production. Stop thinking about all the admin stuff you have to do, all the operations. Just focus on marketing. And then once you have created an effective and consistent lead flow that creates engaged leads, then you can put your sales hat on and start thinking about, okay, how do I turn these engaged leads into my customers? And then you can put your operations hat. Okay, how do I turn these customers who are expecting me to do a good job, how do I turn them into 5-star reviews, and how do I get them to give me a new customer? Because they're so happy with me, they're going to refer me to their friends, they're going to refer me to their social media profiles. And then when it comes to operations, I try to stay out of operations as much as possible, because for me, I'm more interested in how my business is running rather than all of the admin jargon, such as making sure my taxes are paid and bookkeeping and setting up profiles and just all the stuff that actually does not push the revenue forward and does not push the profit forward. Now, you might argue like making sure that you have someone who's good at taxes will increase your profit because you'll pay less in taxes. You'll be able to keep more of your revenue by paying less in taxes. So operations is important. It's just that if you're a business owner, you should really, unless that is one of your strengths, unless taxes is like one of your strengths, you should really be focusing more on the marketing, sales, and production, and try to hire out, and this is where AI comes into play. Make sure that you are hiring out a good tax strategist, CPA. Make sure you're hiring out a good bookkeeper. Preferably, just send everything to QuickBooks, and you can actually create AI agents to track this stuff, or you can hire a bookkeeper, and you can start hiring good people to run your operations, or start using AI agents to actually manage a lot of these workflows, so that you're not putting any time into the actual like operations of a business, but rather you're just focused on leadership and creating great marketing materials and great marketing campaigns and advertisements, and turning strangers into leads, and then hiring good salespeople and training them on your services, and creating good sales presentations and doing quality estimates, so that you can turn those engaged leads into customers, and then hiring good production managers who are going out to find the best crews and training them so that they know how to technically do the job better than anybody else, so that you're going to get 5-star reviews over and over and over again, and turn those 5-star reviews into referrals. And you're just focused on those things. So it really simplifies business when you stop thinking about operations and just focusing on marketing, sales, production. Marketing, sales, production. Strangers to engaged leads to customers, customers to 5-star reviews and affiliates or referral partners. Like, just focus on those things and try to, as little as possible, focus on the operations. Operations is just kind of the legal boundaries that you have to play business in. If this was the wild, wild west of business, no one would have operations. They would just go out and find people, sell them on their products and services, maybe or maybe not fulfill all of them. This is why operations exist, because you have to have legal structures in order to make sure there aren't scam artists out there. But if you could just run a business without any legal structure, and without having to like report your finances to anybody else, and you just focused on making money, all you would do is marketing, sales, and production. Production is really important nowadays, because a 5-star review will not just turn into a 5-star review, it'll turn into more customers. And so with the social platforms that we have now with Google and all the social sites, a 5-star customer will turn into 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 more customers, just because they posted a great review on one of these social sites or one of these review sites. So production is very, very important. I'm just saying the main thing is bring people into the business, get them to pay a deposit, and then fulfill on those promises. Those are the main things that a CEO or a new customer or a new CEO, a new business owner needs to focus on, is creating customers, satisfying those customers, creating customers, satisfying those customers. Try to get as much operations off your plate as possible. There's so many AI tools, and there's so many agencies and individuals that you can hire for relatively low rates nowadays, that you can really turn your business into a 6 or 7 figure revenue business, and only pay 4 or 5 figures, low 5 figures, in all the operations costs. There's so many softwares, there's so many AI tools that you can use to keep your operations costs low, which is what we call overhead, so that you can really focus on building a very profitable business. So just focus your efforts on the day-to-day strategic and technical things that are going to bring you in more customers and turn those customers into referrals. All right, so hopefully that tip and just that mindset shift will really help you. So many people get bogged down on like what a business is, all the operations side of stuff, my legal structure and my tax planning, and all. Just try to, as little as possible, like 5 to 10% of your time should be focused on operations. 90% should be focused on marketing, sales, production. So hopefully that helps.